Well, good afternoon, dear ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel, JC's Online English School. All right, it's good to be back. It's good to be back with all of you on this nice and hot Friday here in Madrid, Spain. Yes, we are broadcasting from Madrid, capital of the country. It is 4:15 in the afternoon of this hot and sunny Friday, the 11th of September, 2020. All right, so yes, this is a free online class. Okay, class number two. Class number two on level C1, which is advanced. Okay, level C1, which is advanced. Okay, and today we're going to talk about types of writing. Okay, if you recall, yesterday on the B2 level class we talked about writing essays. Okay, how to write an essay, and today we are going to concentrate on writing reports. Okay, it's a little bit more advanced, this lesson, but it will also serve you if you have a B2 level, even a C2 level. Okay, so yes, types of writing reports. Okay, I hope you like what I have prepared for you today. All right, so let's get started. First of all, as I usually say, welcome to JC's Online English School. All right, so welcome. Yes, welcome. It's a pleasure once again to be here. I'm checking to see if we have a good connection, and indeed we do. All right, we have a great connection, so welcome. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, one more time to JC's Online English School. All right, so let's begin with today's date. Okay, today's date, as you can see on the top right hand corner, September 11th. Yes, so British. Today is Friday, the 11th of September, 2020 or 2020. Okay, today's Friday, the 11th of September. Yes, American. They say today's Friday, September 11th. 2020. Okay, today's Friday, September 11th, 2020. So that is as far as the date it goes, it is concerned. All right, so remember, as I usually tell you, there are 6 levels in the English language: A1 beginner, A2 elementary, B1 intermediate, B2 upper intermediate, C1 advanced, and C2 proficiency. Hello, Karen. How are you? Welcome back. It's always a pleasure to have you. Thank you for joining us today, Karen, on this nice lesson, this hot Friday here in Madrid. Okay, so today we're going to concentrate on the advanced level. All right, C1. So get ready. It's going to be an interesting class, to say the least. I hope you like it. I hope you will learn a lot in terms of writing reports, and I hope it will be very useful for you. Okay, so here we go. First of all, let's cover some vocabulary, okay, before we get into the topic of writing reports. Vocabulary first, okay, and let's take a look at this preposition. Today's preposition is such as. Okay, they use it a lot, and the meaning is very simple, is for example. Okay, so such as means for example. All right, so for instance, I'm a big fan of rock music. It's not the case, it's just an example, such as Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, and Metallica, etc. Again, it's not my case. I don't personally like rock music. It's just an example. So remember, prepositions such as, meaning for example, for instance. Okay, so Karen, can you give me an example? Can you give me a sentence with this preposition, such as, since you're the only one in the channel right now? Well, there are more people, but hello, Sharma, how are you? Okay, Sharma just joined us. Thank you very much for joining us, Sharma, from India. Thank you so much. So Karen and Sharma, can you please give me a sentence with the preposition such as? Okay, in this case, remember the example on the screen says, I'm a big fan of rock music, such as Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, Metallica, etc. All right. Now, can you give me another example with the preposition such as? Something short. It doesn't have to be a very long sentence, but something short. Okay. I'll be waiting for a few seconds to see if I can read any sentences from you guys. I'll be more than happy to read them. So yes, prepositions such as, meaning for example or for instance. Okay, so can I get a sentence, please? Let me read a sentence for you guys, Karen or Sharma. There is another person in the channel right now. People will be joining us in a few minutes, I hope. So yeah, any sentences before I move on? Any sentences? Okay, do. Maybe the internet is slow. All right, let me move forward, and the moment I read your sentence, I'll let the rest of the people know. Okay, so more vocabulary. Yes, let's see the difference between the British and the American English in terms of home and building. Okay, so Sharma has a sentence. Edward is not beautiful, such is not, no. This is not a good example, Sharma, no. For example, you could say, let me give you an example. based on your sentence, Sharma. There are many beautiful people in my class, such as Susan and Mary, for example. There are many beautiful girls in my class, such as Susan and Karen. Karen? All right, so but your sentence is not quite right. But thank you for the effort, Sharma. Thank you for the effort. So again, there are many beautiful girls in my class, such as Karen and Mary, for instance. Okay. All right, but thank you for the effort. Thank you for the effort, Sean. Anyway, so we continue with, again, British and American vocabulary words in terms of home and building. Okay, so as you can see with the with the flag, I don't need to tell you which one is the British and the American. It's plainly simple. So, Beth, okay, Karen says, the Mexican food is my favorite food, such as enchiladas. It's not quite right, but well, it's not a bad example. It's not exactly correct. You could say better, Karen, something like, I like a lot of Mexican food, such as enchiladas, okay, or something like that. I like the way it is. It's not exactly right, but it's closer than Sharma's sentence. It's closer. So thank you, Karen. Yeah, I like Mexican food too. It's very good, very tasty. All right, so bath, British, bathtub, American English. Okay, dustbin, British, trash can, American. Tap, British, faucet, American. Okay, the cinema, British, the movies, American. Okay, so you say, for instance, oh, let's go to the cinema in British, and let's go to the movies in American English. Okay, all right. So another one, another list. Loo, British, restroom, American. Okay, trolley, British, cart, American. All right, one more. Wash basin, British, sink, American. And last but not least, pushchair, British, stroller, American. All right. So let me go over them again, starting from the top. Remember, these are in terms of home and building. Okay, there are many differences depending on the topic. Okay, we're talking about here home and building. All right, very good. So bath, British. Once again, bath, British, bathtub, American. Dustbin, British, trash can, American. Tap, British, faucet, American. The cinema, British. The movies, American. Loo, British, restroom, American. Trolley, British, cart, American. Wash basin, British, sink, American. And finally, pushchair for little babies and stroller, American. Pushchair, British, stroller, American. Okay, so I hope you have learned a few words. Okay. Now let's move on to our topic for today. But again, I want to emphasize once again, Sharma, a very sentence would be, there are many beautiful girls in my class, such as Susan and Karen. Okay, that would be a sentence. And Karen, your sentence could be, I like a lot of different Mexican food, such as enchiladas, for example. Okay, so again, such as is it's a synonym of, for example, or for instance. Okay, very good. So let's move on to today's topic. Okay, I'm going to try to teach you how to write reports. Okay, remember there are several types of writings. We have reports, we have essays that we saw yesterday in the B2 level class. There are emails. Okay, there are letters. There are complaint letters or emails that we saw on Wednesday on our B1 level. Okay, I suggest you watch that one as well. So there are many different types of writings. Okay, and today we are going to concentrate on reports. Okay, so let's get started. Important considerations when writing reports. Let's get started with that. Again, important considerations when writing reports. Things that we should not forget. Okay. Number one, it is not mandatory to add a title. Okay, it's not necessary, but it is usually recommended to make it more complete if possible. Okay, so it is not 100% necessary, but if you write it, it is better. Okay, I like to write it. When I write reports, I like to write a title. Okay, number two, the report, the same as the essay that we saw yesterday, is divided into different paragraphs, and each of the paragraphs must have a title, all right, or a heading. Title or heading that summarizes in a few words what the paragraph in question is about. Okay, so remember, several paragraphs, and each one of those should have a heading or a title that summarizes what you're going to read. It's always very important to read those short headings or titles, because they will give us a general idea of what we are about to read. So don't forget that. Okay, don't forget that. Now let's move on to part number 3. The first paragraph, as in the essay, should be the introductory paragraph. Okay, that is quite logical. And the one that includes the purpose of the report, okay, an introduction. To do this, we can use one of the following structures, okay. Good question, Sharma. Well, it depends. It depends. I suggest you use different tenses according to what you're going to write. Don't just keep it very, very, very simple, always in the present simple or always in the simple past, okay? So try to use a variety depending on what you're writing. But try to use a variety of different tenses, okay? Try not to keep it too simple, okay? Remember, this is C1 level writing, B2, C1, or even C2. So try to, there is life beyond the simple present, okay? So most students write only on the simple present, but there is life beyond that, all right? And there are a lot of the simple present, or present simple, the past, the present perfect, the conditional, the future. Depending on what you're talking about in each paragraph, you can use a variety of tenses, okay? So again, in the introduction, you can use one of the following structures. These are just examples. Okay, for example, you could say, for instance, the aim of this report is to provide information about, I don't know, bicycles, or about, I don't know, whatever. Okay. Now, another one that you could use is the main purpose of this report is to outline, to present, or to discuss. And then you talk about it, all right? This one is very short, but it's also correct. The report looks at, and then you talk about the topic, or you mention the topic. Another one, very simple too. This report is based on, okay? All right, the aims of this report are to, if you have several aims, okay? So don't forget, these are just examples that you can use at the beginning, meaning in the introductory paragraph, okay? So, number 4, the last paragraph, the same way it happened with the essays, should be the concluding paragraph. So we have an introductory paragraph and a conclusion, okay? And it is here where we can add the recommendations or suggestions, okay? You can add recommendations or suggestions such as the following ones, okay? These are just examples. In the light of the above, meaning what we have been mentioning, we believe the following measures should be adopted. And then you mention the measures, okay? You can also say, we suggest you should consider whatever, okay? These are linking sentences, okay? My recommendations are as follows, okay? Colon, and then you start giving your recommendations. Another one could be to improve the situation, we recommend whatever, okay? So remember, introductory paragraph and conclusion. But in the middle, you have other paragraphs, don't forget, okay? All right, there's one more. I hope that the plan outlined in this report meets with your approval. This one is very formal, but that's okay too. So remember, introduction and conclusion. And these are just examples of some sentences you can use. Of course, don't use all of them. Just choose one of them, all right? Choose the one that you like the most. Okay, let's move on to point number 5. Throughout the report, in the different paragraphs, after the introduction and before the conclusion, you can enter a list of points, bullet points, okay? With the different recommendations, suggestions, strengths or strong points, limitations, etc. So these are in the paragraphs that are between the introduction and the conclusion, okay? Remember, introduction, conclusion at the end of the report, and then different paragraphs in the middle, which could be 2, 3, no more than 3 normally, 3, 4, maximum 4. Okay, so remember that the report should be written in a clear and concise manner. Okay, it's a report, same as the essay we saw yesterday. The point list achieves that. Clarity, don't forget to be as clear as possible. But it is not convenient to use a list in all the paragraphs of our report. So, okay, we need variety. Okay, it is very, very important to have a variety in the report, otherwise people will not read it. Okay, therefore choose 1 or 2 paragraphs to include. Okay, now, point number 6, there are many things to remember, so maybe you're going to watch this lesson a few times to be more familiarized with it. Number 6, it is also advisable to say where you get the information from, that is, who gave it to you. Maybe you read it on the internet, a friend of yours gave it to you, who knows, I don't know. Hello Ezekiel, how are you? Hello, how are you? Your father is not here with us today, unfortunately, but you are. Well, thank you Ezekiel for joining us. All right, a little bit late, but hey, better late than never. So, some possible structures to show who gave you the information or where you got it from could be, these are examples. I randomly conducted a survey among people aged between 18 and 25 to find out first-hand data about the issue. So you've been interviewing people between the ages of 18 and 25, you get some research done, and then you show it in your report. Okay, so this is an example. Another one could be the people surveyed have shown their desire to. In other words, you're showing them, the reader, that you have been interviewing people. Okay, so you didn't make up the data. All right. Okay, let's see. Another one is, as preparation for this report, I interviewed a cross-section of students in my school. Okay, that's another good point. So you interview people. In other words, remember, you need to say where you got the information from or who gave it to you. Don't forget. Okay, now point number 7 is statistics. Very important too. The same way we say we have surveyed or interviewed people, as we mentioned on point number 6, we can use some statistics to reinforce our arguments. Excellent, excellent. Yes, if you can use it, don't forget them. For example, 15% of students interviewed claimed that the trip to Oxford and Cambridge did not appeal to them. They didn't like it. Whereas 85% found both outings very enriching. Okay, so 15% of them didn't like it, but 85% of them did. Okay, so you're showing some statistics. People usually like statistics, okay? I personally like them very much because numbers are easier to read, okay? For some people, not all of them. Okay, or another example could be 70% of a sample of 300 cinema goers complain about the price of the tickets, which is claimed to be really high. All right, so you're giving the percentage. Okay, 70% of a sample of 300. That's a high percentage. Okay, all right. Now, point number 8. The registration of the report should be formal. Okay, remember, it is a formal report. It should, in no case, should be informal. Okay, since it is directed normally to a person with power, normally. All right, this can be a school principal, for instance, a major, an events organizer, you name it. Okay, but remember, it is somebody that you normally don't know or you don't trust because you don't know him or her. So remember to keep it formal, okay? Now also remember the formal language does not include contractions. We talked about it yesterday in the B2 level class or B2 level lesson for the essays. So try not to use contractions, okay? You can use 1 or 2, but try not to use a lot, okay? Besides, it is advisable to use formal vocabulary. In other words, do not use a lot of phrasal verbs. You can use 1 or 2, but try not to use them, okay? And passive structures neither, to show an impersonal tone. All right, so remember, not a lot of phrasal verbs, no contractions, etc. All right, number 9, I think it is. Yes, number 9. Also, in each of the paragraphs, you can also provide some advice, okay? Just provide some advice, why not? And say what the respondents have proposed to change so that if the event has to be repeated, it could be improved, okay? So yes, you can use some advice. You can provide some advice, okay? It's not necessary, but you can do it. Possible structures in this area are, it would be a good idea to, or it would not be advisable to, or we suggest or we propose that, okay? We suggest or we propose plus ing, okay, instead of that, the verb in ing. All right. So, point number 10, you can use these 2 words, while or whereas, okay, to show a contrast of ideas. Okay, let me give you some example. While young people are satisfied with the facilities offered by the council, old people find them rather poor and boring. Okay, so you're using the word while to show a contrast of ideas between the young people and the old people. Okay, now connectors or linkers. Yes, be careful with those. Like any other writing, the report also, of course, has connectors, like the essay that we saw yesterday, or the letter of complaint or email of complaint that we saw on Wednesday. Although it is true that it is not convenient to load it too much. In other words, don't use a lot of them. So yes, you need to use connector or linkers, but don't use too many, okay? Because as mentioned before, it is a clear and concise writing. In the essay, normally you use more. Normally you use more linkers and connectors, but not on the report, okay? I mean, you can use a few, but not a lot. Hello, Eliana, a little bit late, my friend. You're almost done. We're almost done. We are on slide number 15 out of 24. Man, you're missing the 9 first points. But anyway, welcome back anyway. Thank you very much for joining us. Hello, Gustavo, a little bit late too. But anyway, okay. So take a look at the lesson later because it will be recorded on the channel. So don't worry, all the lessons are there. Okay. So take a look at it from the beginning. Okay, anyway, we're talking about point number 11. Oh, number 12, sorry. For you, Gustavo and Liana, we're talking about reports today, okay? Yesterday we talked about essays, and today we're going to talk about reports. We're talking about reports, okay? Wow, we are on point number 12. So synonyms, yes, synonyms are also used so as not to repeat, of course, the same vocabulary all the time, and thus demonstrate a high semantic level. So I suggest you use synonyms. Do not always use the same words all over again, okay? So, okay, I believe that is all. And now we are going to see an example based on all the things that I've been telling you that Eliana and Gustavo unfortunately have missed. But anyway, you are on time to see you're in time to see the example. Okay, the example for a report. Here we go. Okay, this is what they're asking you for a magazine. You need to describe the shopping habits of young people in your country. We need to evaluate what the shopping habits are changing. And finally, we need to consider what affects what young people are buying. All right, so once again, for a magazine, we need to talk about these three topics: the description, the evaluation, and the consideration. All right, this is what they're asking us to do. So here goes the report. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. Now we begin with the introduction. The introduction could be something like this. See, again, this is just an example, okay? The principal aim of this report is to provide information about customary shopping habits of young population and to assess to what extent these habits are changing. Okay, thus, I randomly conducted a survey among people aged between 18 and 25 to find out first-hand data about the issue. Okay, so remember, in the introduction is where you tell us what you're going to talk about. Okay, so that's why it's called the introduction. Okay, very, very important, the introduction. Okay, it needs to catch the attention of the reader. Otherwise, he or she is not going to continue reading for sure. Okay, shopping spree. Now we continue with the paragraphs. And remember, we add a headline or a short title. Okay, shopping spree in this case. And we say something like this. It turns out to be clear that the whole inhabitants surveyed have shown their craving for going on a shopping spree every so often. However, while people could think that women are more interested in going shopping, several male respondents seem to be keen on splashing out on trendy clothing, above all at Christmas, which tend to be such a remarkable and familiar time. Okay, so this is the first paragraph, and once again you have a title, shopping spree. All right, so before you read the paragraph, you know what you're going to read about. Okay, with the headline shopping spree. Okay, another paragraph with the title changing habits goes like this. Notice that more or less the paragraphs are approximately the same size, same number of lines, maybe one more, one less, but they are approximately the same size. So changing habits. Given the economic crisis and budget cutbacks, families appear to be losing earning power and standard of living so that they might be changing their ingrained shopping habits. Therefore, young people may not be amenable to spending such amount of money due to the fact that the vast majority of them have to keep an eye on it. Consequently, they seem to be deeming market stalls as an attainable option as they might get good prices wise by haggling. Okay, haggling is when you say, I'll give you this. No, you give me that. No, I'll give you this. Okay, deal. Okay, that is the meaning of haggling. All right, and another one is the conclusion. Okay, here we go with the conclusion. To recap, to summarize, all in all, you can use several words. To recap, both arguments underlined above are likely to be vital to get to know the most meaningful makeovers that shopping habits are undergoing. Moreover, what might affect people when buying could be, and now you give several ideas or suggestions. Advertisements. You can also pronounce advertisements, okay? Advertisements or advertisements, doesn't matter. Social networks and the overwhelming rise in technology might be having a tremendous influence on them meaning on young people. Celebrities often boost and encourage people to purchase useless items to meet our consumerist needs to a certain extent. That is true too. All right. Okay, so that is all in terms of the reports. I don't want to bore you anymore. I know it's a little bit dense, a lot of information to process. But yes, that's what it is. I'm sorry, Eliana, you got here a little bit late, and Gustavo, but yeah, you can watch the lesson any of the time you want to. Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you ever written a report at the school, at the university, or whatever? Have you ever written a report, even if it was in Spanish? Have you? Because the rules practically apply the same. So, have you ever written a report? Anybody? Remember, in the States, I had to write a few essays, a few reports, letters. So yes, I had to write a few. So has anybody ever written a report before I move on to today's joke? Anybody? No, nobody answers. Okay. Has anybody ever written a report? Because most people have written essays. Okay, that is true. Most people have written essays, but I just want to know if you guys have ever written a report. Ezekiel, Liliana, Sharma, Karen, Gustavo, has anybody? Any one of you has ever written a report? Okay, well, you give me your answer. I'm going to tell you the joke. Okay, I'm going to be reading the joke. Here goes the joke. Okay. Why did the man put his umbrella away? Oh, you have Sharma. Okay, Ezekiel. I wrote a report when I was studying English English in 2016. Okay, Ezekiel, write English in capital letters. By the way, oh yes, you have. Okay, very good, very good. All right. Ezekiel. After that, I did not. Okay, well, you never know when you're going to write them again. You never know. Okay, so here goes the joke. Thank you for the answers, ladies and gentlemen. Karen, how about you? Have you ever written a report? Are you still with us, Karen? I hope you didn't fall asleep. Okay, so here's the joke to wake you up. Today's joke goes like this. Why did the man put his umbrella away and open his wallet? He was hoping for some change in the weather. So, why did the man put his umbrella away and open his wallet? He was hoping for some change in the weather. Anyways, so the word change has a double meaning in this case. Some loose coins or some change in the weather. Okay, anyway, I hope you like the joke. It's a clean joke, of course. Anybody? Do you understand the joke? I mean, it's not hard. Come on, it's a level C1. So I hope you do, and I hope you like it. May I get some feedback, please? Why did the man put his umbrella away and open his wallet? He was hoping for some change in the weather. Okay. So you like it, Ezekiel. Thank you very much, Ezekiel. Nobody else did, but okay. So did you know? Okay. Well, thank you, Ezekiel, once again. So did you know? Interesting. This one is quite interesting. Really careful. Gustavo says, yes, I write a report about my... Oh, really? Okay, you write a report per day. Okay. The rain of money. Okay. Karen, yes, all the time when I was studying. All right. Well, apparently the internet goes a little bit slow today. It's going slow because I'm getting your answers about 2 or 3 minutes after I ask you the question. Hey, but better late than never. So, did you know, ladies and gentlemen, did you know that 85% of people have experienced a dream so real that they were not sure if it happened in real life or not? Let me read it again. Did you know that 85% of people have experienced a dream so real that they were not sure if it happened in real life or not? So let me ask you, have you ever had this experience? Because I have. I've had it. I've had the experience on more than one occasion. So yes, have you had the experience? I have, yeah. So Gustavo, have you had it? Karen, Ezekiel, Sharma, Ileana, have you had this experience in your life? Meaning having a dream so real that you say, wait a minute, when you wake up in the morning or the next day, or if you still remember, say, does that happen or was it a dream? It has happened to me, not very often, but on more than one occasion, yeah. So, is anybody? Has it happened to anybody? Anybody other than me? It says 85% of people, so it's a high percentage. Okay, 85% is a very high percentage. Okay, so let me know. Has this ever happened to you? 85% of people. It's like I said, it's a big number. Okay, so yes, one last time, 85% of people have experienced a dream so real that they were not sure if it happened in real life or not. Let's see. Okay, so Sharma, it hasn't happened to you, but don't worry, you're young. It may happen in the future. Give it time. You're still young. But anyway, all right, very good. Let's move on. That's it for today. Well, Ezekiel says, yes, I once dreamt that COVID didn't exist. Oh, yeah, well. Good dream, but not real. Ileana says, sure, it happens. I haven't experienced like that, but I was dreaming in my dream. I thought I was awake, but then I woke up again. Okay, well, what I miss. Oh, man, poor Juan, if he was next to you, Ileana, poor Juan. Okay, very good. So, don't forget to learn more. Subscribe to my channel, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, that's the channel. Once again, JC's Online English School. We're very, very close to the magic number of 300 subscribers. Hopefully, we will reach that number today. The last time I checked, it was about 291. I don't know exactly if we have reached the number right now, but it's very, very close. So, thank you very much once again for watching. Those of you who are not watching live or who are watching the video later, thank you so very much. So don't forget, yes, to learn more, subscribe to my channel, okay, JC's Online English School. And do not forget to hit the like button if you liked the video. I hope you did. And share it with other people, maybe with friends or people that you know they are at school and they need to know how to write reports. So you may as well share it with them, because I think it's a very interesting lesson. Okay, I'm gonna share it with my nephew later, because he cannot be joining me, but he needs to know how to write reports, so I'm gonna share it with him. You're very welcome, Ezekiel. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ezekiel. Thank you. God bless you too, Gustavo. Thank you very much. Likewise. Don't forget, if anybody's interested in having classes with me, as a matter of fact, I have 2 classes right now. Every day after this lesson, I have 2 or 3 classes. Please let me know. You have my number there, 34663072251, or my email address, gmailexpress@gmail.com. All right. Don't forget that I broadcast Monday through Friday. Mondays level A1, Tuesday A2, Wednesday B1, Thursday B2, and Fridays C1, which is this one. Okay, so I broadcast videos every day of the week, different levels every day, of course. And yes, have a nice weekend. Have a wonderful day today. That's all, folks. Okay, thank you for your attention. And like I said, have a nice day and a nice weekend. I'll be back on Monday. And please don't forget about me. Okay, come back on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, whenever you want or wherever you can. Okay, so thank you so much and goodbye. Bye bye, Karen. You're welcome. Goodbye. Take care.